Preface of Across Asia on a Bicycle. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by Marcus Pfeiffer, Fairfax, Virginia. Across Asia on a Bicycle by Thomas Allen. Preface. Across Asia on a Bicycle. The Journey of Two American Students from Constantinople to Peking by Thomas Gaskell Allen, Jr. and William Lewis Sachtleben, New York, The Century Company, 1894. To those at home whose thoughts and wishes were ever with us in our wanderings. Preface. This volume is made up of a series of sketches describing the most interesting part of a bicycle journey around the world, our ride across Asia. We were actuated by no desire to make a record in bicycle travel, although we covered 15,044 miles on the wheel, the longest continuous land journey ever made around the world. The day after we graduated at Washington University, St. Louis, Missouri, we left for New York. Thence we sailed for Liverpool on June 28, 1890. Just 3 years afterward, lacking 20 days, we rolled into New York on our wheels, having put a girdle around the earth. Our bicycle experience began at Liverpool. After following many of the beaten lines of travel in the British Isles, we arrived in London, where we formed our plans for traveling across Europe, Asia, and America. The most dangerous regions to be traversed in such a journey, we were told, were western China, the desert of Gobi, and central China. Never since the days of Marco Polo had a European traveler succeeded in crossing the Chinese Empire from the west to Peking. Crossing the Channel, we rode through Normandy to Paris, across the lowlands of western France to Bordeaux, eastward over the Lesser Alps to Marseille, and along the Riviera into Italy. After visiting every important city on the peninsula, we left Italy at Brindisi on the last day of 1890 for Corfu in Greece. Thence we traveled to Patras, proceeding along the Corinthian Gulf to Athens, where we passed the winter. We went to Constantinople by vessel in the spring, crossed the Bosporus in April, and began the long journey described in the following pages. When we had finally completed our travels in the Flowery Kingdom, we sailed from Shanghai for Japan. Thence we voyaged to San Francisco, where we arrived on Christmas night, 1892. 3 weeks later, we resumed our bicycles and wheeled by way of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas to New York. During all of this journey, we never employed the services of guides or interpreters. We were compelled, therefore, to learn a little of the language of every country through which we passed. Our independence in this regard increased, perhaps, the hardships of the journey, but certainly contributed much toward the object we sought, a close acquaintance with the strange peoples. During our travels, we took more than 2,500 photographs, selections from which are reproduced in the illustrations of this volume. End of preface.